You, sir, on the right there.
The thing about the question for me would be what is being asked about Halliburton, who are the actual manufacturer of the blowout preventer. And the blowout preventer is designed as the first cut-off in any disaster. It's an American product and it's failed. Yeah.
So Obama should be blaming an American company.
Well, should be looking at the American company.
We don't know yet, and we won't. There are a number of inquiries going on to this, including a US presidential inquiry. We don't know what the exact causes of this were, and part of the problem, which is a tragedy, is that a number of the people who could have told us are now dead because their lives were lost on the rig. And we need to wait. We won't have to wait that long before we get a real readout for what the causes of this actually were. There'll be a technical inquiry with some interim conclusions in fairly short order, and then there'll be the full presidential inquiry. But we do need to get to the bottom of it, and we need to learn the lessons for our own regime as well.
You had a question on this, didn't you?
I did. I had a question about whether it was right to compare it to 9/11. But I'd just like to say, I think you're actually sort of running circles around yourself, because you've said that this wasn't an anti-British thing, and you've said that we don't know the causes yet, we're having an inquiry. But anyone watching the inquiry in front of Congress of the CEO of BP will note that they seemed very sure what the cause was. And you cannot say it was not anti-British, we do not know the causes, and still support that congressional inquiry and the mode of questioning that was employed.
Hold on a second. You, sir, in the third row.
I can't believe the story is actually about the spilling of oil in the Gulf. More oil is spilt in the Niger Delta and has been year on year than in the Gulf at all. The real issue is the fact that the West and Britain are addicted to oil, and we've actually got to address our usage.
All right. Peter Hain.
Well, I very much agree with that last point, and if I could sort of address that, it's a point that Ed Miliband made in the Commons this week, as the Labour leadership candidate I'm supporting. He said that we've really got to learn the lessons of this. I mean, this oil is being extracted at levels at which it's not safe for humans to operate. It's so deep. That's one of the problems with it. And we may well be doing this off Orkney and the Shetlands and other places around Britain. And really, this has got to be a moment with 50,000 barrels and more, as Chris says, coming out of the seabed. And you imagine if that had been happening around Britain. It's no wonder emotions are running high. Do
you think he's right in that case to compare it to 9/11?
I don't. But
why do you think he did that?
Well, you'll have to ask him.
Well, I can't ask him. I'm asking you.
Can I just address this? We've got to take this opportunity to wean the world economy, including the American economy, off its addiction to oil and go for clean, green energy the world over, big time.
Jeffrey Robinson.
I'm with Amanda on this. Why has President Obama taken to calling BP British Petroleum if he's not trying to have a dig at the British? I think that there is an issue here that the gentleman in the audience has identified. And America is the biggest consumer of oil in the world. Its appetite for oil is insatiable. And so I think that President Obama, rather than trying to scapegoat BP over this, and for sure BP have got to take their share of the blame, but not all of the blame, I think that the President should be looking at the reasons why this ever happened in the first place. It's an environmental disaster, that's for sure, but there are other reasons behind it.
Okay. I'll take one more point from the man up there at the back. You, sir.
Yeah,
I want to fit in one more question.
To answer the question, I think Cameron was slow to step up, and I don't think reflects on him well. Second, I'm disappointed in Obama, somebody I do admire. I think he's almost taken a play out of GW's playbook at its worst with some of the language he's used and the way he's behaved. But thirdly, I think to have a moratorium on high-risk oil exploration, in principle I couldn't agree with it more, but in reality I think it's just slightly naive. You only have to look at the expansion of the automotive industry in Asia to see the long-term demand, not our generation, our daughters' generations and our grandchildren's generation. The desire for oil is going to be even bigger then.